Hey guys, I titled this video today, Get Rich by Being Yourself. And yes, that was supposed to be sort of tongue-in-cheek, clickbaity title. But actually, it's very much true that when you occupy your authentic self, you're telling the universe you're enough, you're worthy, that you don't have to perform to be okay in the world. And this is such a big one for a lot of people. If you grew up in a household where you were taught that performance was more important than authenticity, then this is a lesson that you probably had to learn in your adult life. That this is not going to help you live a happy life, this performance over authenticity. Think about it, right? If you're not being yourself, if you're not being authentic, if you're performing, if you are broadcasting a signal that says, I'm not enough as I am, I'm not worthy as I am, I have to put on a fake performance, be somebody else to get what I want. You're telling reality, I have to manipulate reality to get what I want. And, reality doesn't like manipulation. Nobody does, right? You can feel when you're being manipulated. It comes across as not being authentic. And when you're being your authentic self, you're telling the world, you're telling the universe, I'm worthy as I am. I'm enough as I am. I have something to offer people, offer humanity, offer my family, offer my community, just as I am, right? As I am. So I find myself in an less than ideal situation right now. Not to say that I haven't overcome a lot, and I have manifested lots of things that I'm very happy with. But as I mentioned in this last video, and I'll be mentioning it again, I find myself living in a place that's not my ideal match, that isn't aligned with my true beingness. And, it's a lesson in overcoming the negative emotion, getting out ahead of it. I think, as Joe Dispenza says, you have to get out ahead of that feeling of being somewhere that you don't like. And no matter what's going on in your outer reality, you have to be your true authentic self and not try to fit in with people or situations that you know aren't for you, because then you'll just stay in that energy. You'll stay in the known. You'll stay in the familiar energy of that performance that you probably were taught as a child. So here I am. I did manifest my specific person and my family, and that is all great. Right? Of course, there's always challenges in relationships. But actually, really the only challenge in the relationship is the situation of having to move somewhere that I did not see that coming. But like I said in the last video, I'm overcoming the negative emotion by being my authentic self, by sharing with you guys what I'm going through. And I feel better than I have in a very long time doing that. And you know what? I will get rich by doing that. I'll get rich by having a community that I feel connected with, by being my authentic self. When you keep showing reality who you are, it's a mirror, right? You'll get that in return. And you know what? Not that I want to stay here anyway, but I am finding that I'm meeting more people here that also are authentic. And I also feel a more authentic, strong connection with these people, because I'm getting my reflection back. So while I'm very happy about this progress here, I can see the more authentic I become, the more reality will show me that. So I said in my last video too that when I was a child, I had to move to a state far away from my home state, and it really wasn't a match to what I felt where I wanted to be. And as a child, you don't have a lot of power, although I'm sure certain children do. But I was not born with that knowing. So I had to teach it, I had to learn it myself. Now I found myself back in that same state, far away from my home state as an adult. And I guess this lesson had to get learned again as an adult. I am repeating a lesson apparently. But this time, I think I'm getting it. And the message to you today is, if you find yourself performing, if you find yourself in a place that doesn't feel authentic, where are you not being authentic? How can you broadcast a signal of authenticity, of worthiness, of being enough as you are, of doing something to show the universe that this is who I truly am. This is what I have to share. And you do that every day. You show up as your authentic self every day. And you overcome that negative emotion. You overcome the feeling of, anger, maybe, that you're where you are. You have to overcome anger, fear, overcome the performance, overcome all of that. And really, you have to embody your authentic self. And if you don't know yet what that feels like, that's okay. If you don't know what that feels like, that is your authentic state. And I think sometimes, here, I'm going to leave you with this. This is where I have messed up in the past, of beating myself up for not knowing what my authentic self was. Instead of allowing the not knowing to be the authenticity itself. Allow your unknowingness to be the authenticity. Instead of pushing away the uncertainty and saying the uncertainty is not okay. Make the uncertainty okay. It's okay to be uncertain, to not know what your authentic self is. And that is a strong signal of power. And you'll get more and more of that power from that self-acceptance, instead of the shame or the blame on yourself for not knowing. So I'm so happy you guys made it to the end of this video. I'm really excited to share more of my authentic self with you, and I would love to hear, I guess, too, if anyone's going through uncertainty about authenticity, if you need support overcoming the negative emotions, let me know. I'll be making more videos to help you guys and to help myself. Thanks so much.